Hi everyone, Brittany here with the first installment in my new baking series where I choose a baked good from my novel, A Daisy in Lily's Valley, and bake it for us to try. This week, I'm tackling the chocolate tahini babka, which is the very first recipe of this entire novel. Now, this is a really challenging recipe. I have actually attempted it myself multiple times, and Emiliana has attempted it multiple times, and it's just because it is so tricky to work with bread and an enriched bread that is also gluten-free. I struggled so much, but I really believe that this is going to be the first time I nail it. I'm following a recipe by the Loopy Whisk, and I have to say I am just having the most fun with this project. So the reason I think I failed in the first attempts at this recipe are because gluten-free dough really needs to be very wet, and that's because gluten-free flour is so dry and there's no gluten structure. So adding things like eggs and psyllium husk gel, which is so gross, this feels so disgusting and looks really gloopy, but it actually really helps to create that structure and that chewy texture of gluten-free dough. Now, as I was working, I really tried my best to knead this dough, but again, it's so sticky and so wet that I wound up just going straight to my stand mixer and mixing it up there. And then I did decide to put it in the fridge for about an hour to try and get it a little less sticky, which didn't quite work out. I had to add a lot of extra flour, but already I can tell that this dough is much better than all of my last attempts. It just looks like it's going to move and actually roll without cracking. And look at that chocolate spread. Doesn't it look delicious? As I was rolling all of this out, I accidentally mistakenly turned off my camera, so I didn't actually get a video of me trying to braid this roll, which is probably for the better because I was struggling. It looked like a hot mess, and so did I. But you know, I was super excited. I always knew that this recipe was going to start off Emiliana's entire journey, and I really wanted to show just how resilient Emiliana herself is. She is willing to do this recipe again and again and again until it is perfect. Of course, you cannot have a delicious babka without a little bit of tea. Earl Grey was my choice for today, and I was just so excited. Look at this loaf. It is so squishy, so bread-like. Cutting through it, I could just smell all of that inherent goodness, and tasting it, oh my gosh, I was in heaven. This is the best loaf I have ever had. Cheers to myself and Emiliana for persisting and creating the best babka